So, welcome to Sacred Segments, everyone. Yeah, I was just talking about ESP and messages and synchronicity. Please, I'm going to mute everyone, and if you want to speak, then please unmute. I just want to remind you to hold everyone in love as they're talking, without any judgment. I know that you're already there, but I'm just saying it anyway. So ESP is something that I was talking about, and listening for messages, and they could come through the radio or through a song or through a billboard. There are so many different ways that we receive messages from the unseen realms. And as I said, I was preparing for this session, and I thought about what aspect of the divinity to talk about today, and the Archangel Azrael was the archangel that came up for me to talk about. And the Archangel Azrael is the angel of death that carries our souls to heaven after we pass over. But the way that we can work with Archangel Azrael when we're alive is if we need to do a life review, if we've made bad choices, and we need to re-establish our lives in a particular direction. And particularly if we're working with the law of attraction, which is one of the elements that this group focuses on. Archangel Azrael can assist with becoming more high vibrational, and we all need that, right? And Yoga and I were talking very briefly before this session about interference from dark forces. And, when you're on a path of light and raising your frequency, there's interference that always happens. And the way that you can overcome this interference is by raising your frequency. And asking for angelic intervention is a way that you can help overcome these types of interferences. And it can be difficult, it can be challenging, but you've got to just reshift your focus when this is happening, and move your focus away, as painful as it is, onto what it is that you want to bring about into manifestation. So just as I'm handing over to Bo now in a second, I want you to think about what your intention is for this session. Don't yet speak it, but start to think about what it is that you would like to intend for this session. And as you just sort of bring that into your awareness, I just want you to take a couple of deep breaths. And as you do so, think above your head to a beautiful pink vibration, which represents love energy, and bring it down the back of your head and curl it underneath your spine. So see it coming down from space, curl it underneath your spine, up the front of the body, and then curl it round the top of your head again and bring it down to the bottom of your spine, and then bring it up the front of your body. So you're seated in this double loop of pink energy, which represents love energy. Just hold that visualization for a second, detach from it, and then think down to the Mother Earth and request her violet flames of transmutation and protection, and see this as a violet fire transmuting and purifying our energies as a collective group and individually and through the whole earth, transmuting all lower frequencies and holding us in this love energy of violet fire, which is a conscious living entity. Then detach from that and think into space and visualize momentarily a white light, like a brilliant white spotlight. Bring it down all the way to the bottom of your feet, and just be seated in that energy for a moment. Breathe those energies in. The pink vibration of love, the violet transmuting fire, and the white light. Just breathe that in. 2 deep breaths, and then I'm going to hand over to Bo. Deep breath in, releasing. Another deep cleansing breath. and breathe out. Thank you for being here, everyone. Good to see you, Bo. As I said to you before, I love that color. It's gorgeous.
Thank you, Alexis. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for allowing me to come and present on your show here on your channel. And I'm very honored to be among such like-minded people and get to share a part of what I do. I will go into more details later, but my little segment here is just really to inspire each and every one of us to come up with one word that you feel that the world needs right now. And then I would like to use that, the group's intention for the world, in what I'm gonna do a little bit later. So just one word, don't say it, don't write it, just get it ready for the second part. Thank you.
Thank you, Bo. Okay. So thinking about your word and thinking about your intention, just hold those in your consciousness. And we're going to do a meditation now with my good friend Yoga, who I haven't been in touch with for years. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you again and connect with you. If the internet connection becomes unstable, please help us by visualizing it getting stronger and just let us connect. Grethe, good to see you, and all the other people that have joined us. Welcome. Good to have you here. Yoga, over to you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Excuse me, as I can. Excuse me.
No problem. In fact, I'm going to get some water, so please. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for having me. Thank you for invitation, Alexis. Thank you also for being here with you, all of you, like-minded people. Yes, I can have bad connection due to earthquake which happened in Turkey. I live in Turkey, and as we know, there was very, very big disaster. And what I would like to ask, thank you for allowing me to have 5 minutes meditation, because with you, all of you, because I would like to ask for a meditation / prayer to all the people who suffering from what happened, but not in a way that we will feel sorry for them. What they need lots of love and light at the moment. Of course, all part of basic needs, but it's been so dark for such a long time. Dark energies, dark forces, which you did mention, surrounding this lovely country. So I would love to ask everyone, if that's okay, to send them love and light and strength to overcome any single obstacle which is related, whatever they wish to come through, and just be happy, healthy, and whatever they wish for. That's just my humble request, if that makes sense. So may I start? Can everyone hear me, Alexis?
Please do.
Okay. Please close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold. and exhale. Inhale through your nose, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Please call upon angels, archangels, angels, your ancestors, your guides, spirit guides, to surround you. Please ask them to send unconditional love from the bottom of your heart to those who are suffering from disaster, natural disaster in Turkey. Let's send them love and light and hope that they will overcome suffering, that they will overcome all the problems, that all of them will find the peace and happiness and strength to overcome everything which stands on the way to recover from trauma. Let's send them from our hearts a stream of light and unconditional love. Let's take a deep breath again. Inhale and exhale. Then send them again love and light, vibration of peace, contentment, and happiness. Let's light surround all the Turkey, all the country. Let's feel peace, happiness. Let's the consciousness being raised. Let's send them love, unconditional love, for speedy recovery. Amen. Please open your eyes in your own pace. Thank you so much for being here and for that prayer. It means a lot to me, and behalf of Turkish people, thank you so much for doing that. It's very necessary to give them strength, love, and unconditional love. Thank you again. Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you, Yoga. And I'm going to say an obvious thing now about how we have chakras in the palms of our hands, as well as the 7 chakras. There are lots of different chakras. And with our feeling and with our love and intention, we can visualize light in the form of white light leaving our hearts and our hands, and just send it out through those 3 beams of love. And whenever there's a situation,
Yes.
like, whether if you see an animal die on the side of the road, or an ambulance passes, you can do this. That's how powerful we are. We're so powerful as individuals, and if we can use visualization and intention and love, we really can create miracles. We are that powerful. So with that in mind, we spoke about intention. What would you like to intend? I'd just like to spend maybe 1 minute on just going around the group on each person and just speak about something that you would like to intend for yourself or for the world, whatever it may be. I'll start and then I'll go to Bo and I'll go around the whole group. So my intention is to create strong and healthy boundaries. That's my intention. And I say that because I feel sort of infringed upon a lot, because I give a lot to other people without giving to myself, and I'm learning to allow myself to be selfish when I need to, because in being selfish, I then can have the strength to give to others. And we're not taught to allow ourselves to be selfish, but I think it's necessary in order to have strength to carry on in the world. Bo, what's your intention?
My intention? Yeah, my intention is to continue to be of service of the greater good and share my message and my truth and stand in it as much and as often and as vibrant as I can.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anna?
My intention is to expand my scope and visibility so that those who are the best match for my services, for both of us, will be better able to connect with me.
Okay, thank you. And I maybe needed to have said this before, but we can still do it. Imagine when you blow on a fire, or put some wind, some air on a fire, it becomes bigger, right? The fire becomes bigger. Imagine as people are saying that their intention, with our energy, let's put the air on those intentions and make them kind of larger as everybody speaks them. So let's do that for Bo's intention. Let's do it for mine. And let's do it for Anna's. And Cozy, would you like to say yours? I'm going to ask you to unmute, please. Just unmute.
Are you talking to me?
Cozy.
Oh, okay. Cozy. She's muted.
Yeah, if you could unmute at the bottom of your screen, on the left is a mute icon, and just click on unmute. Or while you're doing that, perhaps Morag could speak her intention, and then we'll come back to you, Cozy.
Okay.
Okay. Morag, you go first, and then we'll come back to you. Stay unmuted, Cozy, and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Well, my intention is deeper into soul purpose and to and expand my ability to channel divine feminine energy, the planet, for the world.
To channel your divine feminine energy to the planet and the world. You cut out for a moment, but I'm just repeating what I think you said. Is that right?
Yeah, it's to surrender, go deeper, surrender, so I can get more divine feminine energy.
Beautiful. So just visualizing that intention expand, become more anchored and manifested with all of our intentions. Thank you, Morag. Cozy.
this is really new to me, and I saw this on the internet. So this is, my intention is to learn more about the healing energy, and learn from everyone and what's going on. Thank you.
Great. Thank you as well. And at the end of this session, we'll do a manifestation through affirmation. So I'll help you all formulate an affirmation to supercharge your manifestation. Thank you, Cozy.
Thank you.
Bonnie, I'm going to mute you again, Cozy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I've been listening to your intentions and trying to figure out what my intentions are. And so recognizing that all of us are different. We're all different. And we all do have our boundaries, just like Alexis was saying. And I think my intention is I've kind of fallen off my own goals for where I was going. And I've been kind of lost, and my intention is to find my path again. And in order to do that, I've got to be very open to the signs that surround us. And so that's my intention.
Beautiful. Just
Thank you.
if everyone could, again, just send energy to that intention for Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Yoga.
Yes, my intention is to vibrate high, and in order to the dark forces to go away from this planet and leave people alone and let us be the way we're supposed to be, stop attacking us and the planet Earth. And I would like to raise constantly my vibrations to basically to end up in 5D, maybe 7. Why not? That's to basically to help the words to if I vibrate higher, obviously the planet will be vibrating higher as well. So I would love to raise these vibrations. That's my intention, constantly raising them. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Yoga. So it just reminds me of a Prince line, a line from a song that Prince sang. And I used to be very afraid of the dark forces, and at times in my life I am. But this Prince line is, I've got two sides and they're both friends. So I see the darkness and the light within me, and I see them being part of the one energy. And that is within me. And then I'm no longer afraid of the darkness because it's all mine and it's all part of me. And I am the one energy, and I do not need to believe in two powers when the universe and God, or whatever you want to call it, is one energy. So I'm choosing that thought. I just wanted to interject with that, to give power to that intention that you just said. Thank you, Yoga. Yannicka, good to see you. Hello. Your intention.
Hi. My intention is to release the obstacles that I'm making for myself, so that I can feel inner peace, and also create a safe, healthy living space.
I lost you for a second there. Create a safe,
Healthy, peaceful living space.
Very important. Thank you. Thank you, Yannicka. Good to see you. Grethe.
Thank you, Alexis. My intention is to be very deliberate about carving out time for rest and play in my everyday life, and not fill up my calendar with all sorts of things. And to your intention, Alexis, my new favorite book about boundaries is called The Book of Boundaries by Melissa Urban. And it's especially great because it has scripts, what to say, when to set boundaries. So I think you might like it. It's great.
I made a note of it. Thank you so much. That's great. And thank you also for helping me and all of us to remember about our inner child. Because when you said about play, it's so important and beautiful. Thank you. Okay, Carl. Hello, good to see you.
I tricky. I think at the moment, the intention I feel and most strongly connected to is to act as a channel and light bringer to the physical earth plane, particularly where I'm living, so that I can bring down and enable that divine light and love to spread into my community to help raise the vibration of the people here where I live.
That's so beautiful. When you were talking, I had the visualization of like an angel that was kind of like a bird, you know, with its wings spread out, just kind of like landing on earth and just opening up its arms and just creating that openness.
I like to think I do energetic acupuncture in different places.
Oh, wow. I've never thought of that. That sounds amazing. Very cool. Thank you. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to hand it over to Bo, if that's okay with you. Good. All right, so let's just take a breath and remember our word that Bo asked us to think about. And as we release that breath, let's just bring that into our consciousness. Okay, thank you. Bo, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alexis. I would like to start out with giving a short description of how I ended up here today. So a red thread through my life has been coaching and teaching, and it has been in sports. And I started back when I was 14, and I then decided when I was about 26 years old that I will take my coaching dream and take it to United States and really make it happen where I believed that I could create my dream. And long story short, I did that. I transformed from a completely different life in Denmark to a life of living as a professional coach. And through that span of time, I was also a massage therapist, and I also worked with sound and color in the healing setting, and had an office. So I was doing many things at the same time. In terms of creating results for top athletes, I quickly understood how many parameters you have to work on. You have to work physically, you have to work tactically, you have to work mentally and emotionally, and eventually you have to work spiritually. So you want to draw on as many components, as many dimensions as you can in order to strengthen these areas of your performance and of your life. And through that understanding of how we can access the body and make it work better, I also was sitting in circles, men's circles, and I did a lot of my own work. And So with that, I came up with a way that things were working for me, how I was creating, how could I create something so crazy that I could leave my country and go to another one without really knowing anybody and make a career out of it. And all these things, plus the studies of law of attraction and spirituality and lots of other things that came together after I had an experience where I was in 2013. I was so fortunate to win a national championship as a coach. And about a few months later, I found myself in a divorce and I was out of work and I've been tricked and life was just, it took everything away from me. And I responded by becoming a victim. I could not channel my frustration anywhere. I wanted to get back at especially the guy who stole my business. And I couldn't. And I ended up sabotaging myself and my own well-being. And I reached a very, very low point where I realized that I forced myself, or nobody forced myself, to end up in this place. And I realized that I have taken on the victim role. And it was at that moment that I realized that I had the potential to create success, to leave Denmark, make a career happen, win trophies, and were really the it. And then all of a sudden, I took all this energy and life turned around, and I was frustrated. I was angry. I was resentful. And I brought myself to the bottom. And that's when I realized that I had the capability of creating success and failure for myself. It was just a question of how I chose to apply my energy and myself. So long story short, I started to change my life around because I knew I could. And today I have created a course that's called Live Your Dreams, which are based on these concepts and ideas that I've been studying and applying. And basically what it comes down to is that in the morning, if you set the tone right from the get-go in the morning with what your intent is, with what you would like to do, connect to it in thoughts, in words, and in action. And then you give it time and you stay with it. And over time, you will create what we say manifestation alchemy. So with that, I decided to also, because I spent a lot of hours on the mat in martial arts, and I came to a point also where I stopped the martial art, I stopped the fighting and got into Qigong, which is way more subtle energy building exercises. And this was really, really potent and powerful for me. So it was these concepts that I somewhat already knew that I was applying without really know how it worked, but it worked for me. So the more I studied in terms of the power of sound, the power of visualization, the power of the mind, the power of word, the power of intent, and I put all these together because I know the physics are there to support it, that like attracts like. You are really a liquid crystal that can receive, store, and emit energy. And then I'm like, there's got to be a way. Somebody must have created something that I can use that makes sense for me. And I looked around everywhere to find this. And I couldn't find it. And then one day it hit me. It is there for you to create. So that's what I did. I have now created what I call the manifestation alchemy Qigong. And it is super, super simple. And I would, of course, love to share that with you guys. And in the morning here, when I was in the shower and getting ready, I had a download, because usually the way that I present this form of Qigong is that it is on an individual basis. But I thought, hey, why not? It's time for me to grow also and do something different. So I decided that we were going to do a group Qigong, and we were going to find the words that can accelerate and can put us on a higher timeline for the new earth. And because we're here, we are the shepherds, we are the stewards of this new age. And if we gather, more people gather, and their energy comes together and we radiate that out in the right way, we are that acupuncture needle on the earth that's gonna bring that light in. And that is work that I am super excited about. So I would like now, just really quickly, we can either chime in with popcorn style, or unmute yourself, and let's hear the word that you have for the world, and then we will then put it into the little formula that I have, and more about that later. So why don't we go into the words? Maybe you can say it and then also put it in the chat, but I would like to hear from each and every one of you, just popcorn style.
Okay.
Awakening.
Rest and play.
Rest and play.
Love.
Sorry.
Love.
Power.
Peace.
Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. All
Surrender.
right.
Surrender.
Surrender. Wonderful. All right. Did we all who want to say and share, have they said and shared at this point? All right. So let's say, of course, I would like to put in healing. Do we have? Okay, love, peace, amazing. Okay, we got 2 love. So let's see. Okay. So here is the formula that I would like us to, and Alexis, if you could help while I'm talking, perhaps take the 5 most vibrant words and put them in where the lines are there, and then make if you can copy the one I did and put in the words that we have come up with. Wonderful, thank you. So the power of the spoken word is so crucial to understand. And I hear often, and I have been teaching myself this for many years, when I have talked about what I don't want to have happen, and then standing right in the middle of it. And I'm like, how did that happen? That's what I didn't want. Because I didn't know at the time that if I say, I don't want to do this because this and this and this is exactly the same mechanism that works with when you ask for what you want and for what you don't want. It comes either way. So when I realized that it is so very important that we speak to what we want, and actually to take it a step further, to actually go straight to the I am when you want to embody something new, which is a much higher vibration. So be very, very careful and mindful how you speak and what emotions that are tied to it. So I want to bring out my very, very good friend that I would like you to meet. And here it is. All right. You know what this is? Of course you do. It's a lamp. And you know what? the genie is out. And the genie would like to know, what are you asking for? Because you think you just get 3 wishes? No, this is just a metaphor that allows you to speak, to get you in the frame of mind that it is in your words that the spell is hidden. So when we work on our manifestation, let's make sure we are clear that what we are asking for. So we have been clear, we have made the words, we have put them here. So when your words, your thoughts, and your action in line, and you stay in that line, and you go and apply yourself in this vibration, you will attract that. We all recall the old outdated saying, fake it till you make it. Yeah? All right. I got a new one for you. All right, I'll share it a little later, but I have upgraded that one. Now, in order for this to really, really work, I like to work on all 4 quadrants when I work. That means it has to be spirit. So we have breath. Breath or spirit. We like to work with the mind, which means visualization. And I would like to work emotionally, which means the feeling of what you are calling forth. And then, of course, physically, it has to be a mechanic. It has to be embodied in order for it to ground in the earth, in your life, and in your being. So I decided, now that I couldn't find this anywhere else, that I had to create it. So I took what I know a little bit of affirmations, quantum physics, martial arts, spiritual, whatnot, and coaching, and put it all together. So I would like now, with your permission, to show my Qigong routine. And if you would like to follow me, I would like you to stand up. So please, and I will adjust the screen here so I can be seen a little better. And I will speak a little louder because now I'm further away from the microphone. So, first of all, I will demonstrate the steps, the moves, and then I will add the words, and then we will put in our words. Okay? So, I'm standing here. I'll take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then I will say the words. I open and receive. And then I contract. And then I would step to the left while open my arms to the side as I inhale. And there we will say the words when we do it. But for now, we're just going to do the motion. We'll say the words, we will exhale. And then inhale. And say, I embrace and absorb. And you will embrace it and absorb it. You exhale. And then say, I radiate and shine. And then when this is all done, we'll bring the hands and the feet together, and we bring the hands in front of the belly button. And here we will spend time in a short meditation where we are visualizing, when we are embodying, where we are feeling all the things that we have called in. It's like we are in that space. and we will play the movies, the pictures with sound, colors, vibrations, everything. And that will then conclude it, and we will be done for this presentation. I usually do this, and for now we're going to do it just in one direction. I usually do it in 4 directions. So when I practice this by myself, I put it all together, and I start east, north, west, south, back to east, and there I will do my meditation. I usually do it in the morning, so that's where the sun is up, or not. So, are you ready to do a group Qigong, where we invoke the highest light and benevolent energies to create the highest timeline for the earth moving forward? Yeah? All right. Good. So I'm gonna see, okay, we have love, power, peace, healing, and play. Is that a world that we would like to live in? Yeah? All right, let's do it. So basically, it's the same movement. We are just gonna do it together. And if you feel like it, you can unmute yourself so we can speak it together. You don't have to, it's just fine. I will do it for you. But if you want to tune in, chime in, please do so. Okay. Take a moment, stand straight. We open and receive.
We open and receive
Love.
love,
Power.
power,
Peace. Healing.
peace,
And play.
healing, and play.
We embrace and absorb love, power, peace,
Embrace and absorb
healing, and
power, peace, healing, love, and play.
We radiate and shine
Radiate and shine.
love, power,
Love,
peace,
power,
healing,
peace,
and play.
healing, and play.
Put your hands together in front of your belly button, feet together, and now visualize the world with love, power, peace, with healing and play. Make it as vivid and real as you can possibly imagine. Colors, sound, feeling, emotions. And now I invite you to make that twice, double as vibrant as you just saw it. Multiply 10 times. How would that even feel? Multiply your love, your power, your play, your peace, and your healing tenfold. Feel the vibration in your body. Use your imagination, use your feeling, use your energetic body to tune in, to be that. Smile. Lift your vibration up. Feel the play. Feel the love. Feel the peace. Feel the power. Feel the healing and expansion. And the new mantra is, align until you shine. Align, align, align. Now visualize this vibration in the group. Take this vibration and spread it all over the world, every country, every place. Where there's hate, may there be love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. Last go around, let's make this vibration even bigger, even grander. Let's see ourselves all over the world, that the web, the crystal grid, the vibration that we are laying is the foundation of the future. Now send this out past the planet, out to this solar system, to the universe, so they can all see and hear how vibrant and how happy we are as we are stepping into this new age. We are ground crew, and we are the only ones who can anchor the light. Take a few deep breaths to anchor this image and this vibration in your body, in your mind, in your imagination. Last deep inhale, exhale. On behalf of our higher selves, thank you for participating. Thank you for being a part of the vibration of the new earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Bo. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
You know, it reminded me of a practice that I came across in a book by a yogi, where every morning he would send. Actually, I incorporated this into a song that I wrote, and he would say every morning, "Let all things be happy, let all things be peaceful, let all things be blissful." And he would send it to the north and to the east and to the west and to the south every morning and every night. And that reminded me very much of that process. I love what you said about doing it on a daily basis and to the different directions, and very powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, well, does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to ask Bo before we move on and ask Anna to do her segment next?
Hey, Bo, would you mind putting up your email address or how we contact you?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
That would be great. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And hopefully we'll see you again. Please feel free to join for the rest of the session as well. If everybody is happy, then I will ask Anna to do her segment next. Is that okay with you, Anna?
How much time do I have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What?
I was just wondering before you start, whether what we talked about, I think yesterday, of kind of combining, is that still an option, or do you want to do your own thing?
No, let's do that. But how do we do that?
Well, are we talking about intentions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could wing it.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say something and then you can take it from there, yeah?
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Grethe?
Okay. Perfect.
So first, let me introduce myself to the new people that I haven't met that I'm so happy to see. My name is Anna Pavlakis, and I am a shamanic healer as well as a Feng Shui practitioner. And I'll put a link to my link tree in the chat in a minute. So I help people move energy. And I was really excited by Bo's presentation because, as always, I love the synchronicities where things just come together, because you brought up something that is really what I wanted to kind of focus on in this segment, right, Grethe? Which is about the power of your intentions behind anything you want to implement. So I'm speaking specifically about Feng Shui, and Feng Shui, of course, coming from the Chinese tradition, we always have this idea of there needs to be body, speech, and mind behind, which means some kind of a physical movement, some kind of speech, so mantra or vocalization of what you're trying to manifest, and also a visualization. So I just loved what Bo did because it's like so connected. It's so great. Grethe and I are giving a workshop on Sunday on Feng Shui for love and relationships. We thought, Valentine's Day and all of that. And I wanted to talk a bit about that because with Feng Shui, people are always, you read Feng Shui books and they tell you, put a crystal here, put a flower here, put a plant here. And then they're like, well, nothing happened, right? So the reason maybe why nothing happened is that there wasn't a clear intention behind whatever Feng Shui cure you implemented. So it's not enough just to stick a crystal here. We're talking about love and relationships this month, this week, and on Sunday in our workshop. And, we think of like rose quartz and so on, which is one of the crystals you could use to bring love into your life. But quite honestly, it's not enough to walk around with, I'm wearing a rose quartz pendant, which is, it's lovely, but it needs to be placed or put with an intention. And it's very important to get very clear on what your intentions are. So anytime you're doing any kind of Feng Shui cure, we call it cures or remedies or whatever, tools that you implement, it's very, very important to be very clear on what your intention is. So, and so when you're placing the cure or doing it, so we, in a recent video that we did, we talked about some things that you could do to bring love into your life. So one of them was to put a pink bulb in your lamp in your bedroom. For one thing, it makes you look fabulous. Everybody looks fabulous with pink light. It takes like 10 years off of you and you look beautiful. So put a pink bulb in your lamp. Also incorporating the color pink in your bedroom is really, really helpful and useful, either in bedding or pillows, or you could do a paint color. Some people are like, oh no, pink, it's, you know, it's not my color, but there are some very elegant pinks out there that you could do, like a beigey pink, or it could just be touches of pink. It doesn't have to be full on, you know, Barbie pink. So putting touches of pink in your bedroom or in your relationship corner, wherever that is, but I'm talking specifically about the bedroom. Oh, then Grete's got her bedroom there, right?
This is my walk-in closet actually, but it's in the relationship area, and it's painted beigey pink because of Anna's advice. So I'm just demoing the beigey pink. I don't know if the lighting does it justice, but as you can see, it's not like a pink. You wouldn't like think, oh, this is very pink. So I just wanted to demo that point.
Awesome. And you did it with intention. You didn't just slap some paint on the wall, right? No. You did it with a specific intention of why you were painting it, that color. Mm-hmm. So using color is really important. The pink bulb, pink bedding, pink paint, whatever is really good. Or you could also incorporate red and white, because red and white make pink. I wouldn't use too much red because, especially in a bedroom, because it can interfere with your sleep. But it certainly can spark a bit of passion. So, you know, that could be nice. And then the other thing that you could do is to put pairs of objects, again, with intention. So Grethe has a pair of little, what were they?
I'll show you.
Sorry, walk around the house.
Well, I have, let me see if we can see this little
tiny
glass bears.
Bears? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
so pairs of objects. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah. And pairs of pillows, 2 pillows, okay? One of the, a very traditional Chinese feng shui cure for bringing in love is to put a pair of mandarin ducks in your relationship corner. Although I did have a teacher who said, you know, if mandarin ducks don't have meaning to you, because they don't come from your culture, right? To the Chinese, mandarin ducks have that meaning, right? The paired ducks. But if it doesn't have a meaning to you, maybe that's not the best cure to use. So it should be something that has meaning for you. So again, it's not enough just to, you know, throw some things up there. Oh, I've got 2 of this, I'm going to put them there. It should be something that's meaningful for you. Like what Grethe did, she has things that are meaningful to her in pairs, showing pairs. And that's, I think, extremely important, extremely important. And you can, you know, when you're placing these things, you could speak it out, like say what your intent is. You can write your intention down, why, you know, before you start putting them around there, you could do that. Because without that energy behind whatever cures you implement, maybe it will do something. Okay, maybe it will do something, maybe. But I really think that the thing that really shifts it is this. Feng Shui moves energy, you know, by rearranging energy points and so on and allowing better flow. But without this, it can only do so much. It can only do so much because it really is psychology. Feng Shui at the end of the day is really working with your psychology. And so having visual reminders of what it is you're trying to create, what you're trying to manifest, is really the key to it in many ways, in many, many ways. Yeah. Grethe, did you want to add something to that?
Well, you mentioned the love and relationships gua in the bagua. So I I quickly just put the bagua up.
Yes.
Oh. So that
Yes.
maybe you wanted to mention just where it is. And if I just move out of the way.
So
I can explain.
In the Feng Shui Bagua, from the tradition that I studied, there are different traditions. I actually don't work with directions. It's oriented with the front door, and the front door would be in the bottom, either on the left, in the middle, or on the right. So from your front door, whatever's in the top right corner of your space, and your space could be your whole apartment or home, or it could be applied to a room, if you just have one room. So
can I ask what that word is in the purple? We can't see the word. Just
I know.
The purple?
Prosperity.
Yeah, it's wealth
Prosperity.
and prosperity.
Wealth. Okay.
That's your wealth corner.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
The
But
wealth corner is, yeah.
That's the
But I'm
love.
talking about the relationship corner, love and marriage, but it's all relationships. It's including your relationship with yourself, which is actually the most important relationship. Because the idea with Feng Shui is that it all starts with the self, working on the self, working on your own, and a Qigong practice is actually really helpful for that. And so you start with the self, then you have your bed, then you have your bedroom, and then it radiates outward from there. So getting this in alignment with what you are trying to create is the number one most important thing. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's all I want to say. Do you want to add anything, Grethe?
Yeah, I do. And again, thank you both for and synchronicities and the universe for talking about clarity and getting clear on what we want and mentioning the power of your spoken word, which most of us here are passionate about. In my practice and how I work with my clients, I follow a structure I call clarity, alignment, action. And so clarity is the first part, getting clear on what you want. What's your goal with this work? If we're going to spend time together doing some healing and coaching, what is it that you want to achieve? And that's, to many people, that's new, to set goals for yourself, for your personal life. A lot of people just go with the flow and just see what happens. And I'm like, what? Would any company do that wants to achieve anything? Like a big organization usually has goals and everybody knows where we're going, and that's how we get there, right? And I don't know who said it, but if you don't know what you want, that's exactly what you're going to get. So if you're not clear on what you want, you'll get random. So that's why I'm passionate about clarity. And for me, that means, for instance, in your relationship, since we're talking about love, in your romantic relationship, if you have one already, or if you want to manifest one, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What are you doing together? So visualizing yourself in the situation, getting clear. What is your partner like? What is your relationship like? So getting clarity on that, visualizing that before taking any action, which is Anna's Feng Shui cures. That's where they come in. And you also mentioned alignment, Anna. And for me, that means getting your subconscious mind in alignment with that goal that you set. So that you set yourself up for success, because 95% of your day-to-day behaviors come from your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is that part of your mind that reads all the self-help books and that sets the goals. But it can only do so much. It can process about 40 bits of information per second, while your subconscious mind processes about 40 million. So your subconscious mind is super powerful. While your conscious mind is busy thinking about one thing, your subconscious mind is over here doing everything else, like driving your car, like all the processes in your body, like the automatic responses when you're busy with something, someone talks to you and you answer them without even knowing what you're saying. That's your subconscious mind. So if you get that on board with the conscious, then suddenly your automatic behaviors will start taking you towards your goals, and you won't have to rely so much on willpower and always being present, because that's not necessarily easy unless you're in love. Then you're full on present all the time. You're your best self until everyday life starts to sneak in and you become preoccupied with the stuff that you were before you fell in love. And then suddenly your old behaviors and patterns come back in, unless you've come into alignment with your goal so that your automatic behaviors support what you want to achieve. Yeah, Alexis.
I just have a question about the subconscious, and if you know, obviously you're not always conscious of what's going on back there, and how can you work with the subconscious mind more consciously?
That's a really good question, and that's actually the question I struggled with for like 20 years, learning about the law of attraction and learning ways to work with it that demanded hard work, consciousness, time, and you don't always have that when you're struggling. So what I discovered was through muscle testing, kinesiology, you can communicate with the subconscious mind. You can ask any yes and no question, or you can, for instance, say a statement. If you muscle test and it's a strong, then it means yes, it's in there, yes or truth. And if it's weak, it means no, it's not there. So by then using muscle testing, combining that with efficient techniques to change whatever's in there. So let's say I have a belief that I hate myself and I'm lacking the belief I love myself.
Yeah.
And I find that by muscle testing, that's going to get me in big trouble.
Can I just ask you something? You know, to deepen that understanding. So, for instance, if I say that I want to manifest, you know, like a better love relationship, for example,
Mm-hmm.
but if I have a counter intention in my subconscious,
Yeah.
which is like sabotaging my relationship because of self-hatred, for example, that's not on a conscious level, like if I'm sabotaging my behaviors and not realizing it, how can I be aware of it? Through muscle testing, and then what do I do?
Well, first of all, you're aware of it because your relationship isn't working out all that well. So that's how you see that you're sabotaging it, right?
Yeah.
And then through muscle testing and through asking the right questions, you can find out. And what I usually do is I have a long list of positive and negative beliefs that we go through and muscle test each and every one of them.
Okay.
Kind of like if your subconscious mind was a hard drive, we're doing a diagnostics to find out what are the programs.
Okay.
And then from there on,
I want to add. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, if we could keep it, if we could keep the rest of this segment for 2 minutes longer, just so that there's enough time to fit everything in. Please carry on.
Okay. Yes. And I said from there on, you do processes to release the beliefs that don't serve you. So you release the underlying causes or underlying imbalances, like trapped emotions or other negative energies in the body that cause you to believe that negative belief. So you release it from the subconscious mind, and then you install the positives by doing, you know, I usually use Psyche, because you can install a belief with Psyche in 5 minutes.
And for those that don't know, it's one of the modalities that Grethe uses. You had something you wanted to say, Anna.
I wanted to add two things. One thing is that in the shamanic practice, there's a thing called stalking the self, which is a technique where you're literally like monitoring every thought that comes into your head, which sounds like a lot of work, and it is. And it's like from the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed, and even while you're sleeping. And if you catch yourself thinking something that is counter counter intention to what you want, you nip it in the bud. You nip it in the bud. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. It does require discipline, but after a while it becomes quite automatic. The other thing is just related to Feng Shui and for love and relationships and your intention and your subconscious. What is the first thing you see when you open your eyes in your bedroom? Just think about that. And is it something that you uplifts you and makes you feel good or is it something that's negative? If it's like your phone with maybe shocking messages on it or something, so ask yourself, this is just a tip for everybody, ask yourself or think about it, what is the first thing you see when you open your eyes when you wake up in the morning? What is the first thing that your eyes land on? Because that's going to set the tone for your day or even your life.
Got it. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to leave it there as far as your segment goes, just because of time. But I would like to revisit this in the future. So perhaps, ladies, if you would like to, formulate something to bring this back on a future Sacred Segments, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for your input. Go ahead, Grethe.
Just wanted to mention that for just repeating that we're doing this workshop Sunday where we're setting the intention, the goal for our relationships, and then learning about the Feng Shui to help get more love into your life.
Okay, thank you.
Put a link in the chat.
Great. Was there something that you wanted to say, Carl?
No, well, just interjecting that also tapping or emotional freedom techniques, also a very good technique for kind of, well, releasing, but also embedding some of those more positive thoughts that you want.
Oh, embedding. Okay. So like you could use it for an affirmation and then tap on it. Yeah.
You have to do this the proper sequence.
I'm very interested in
that, you start even though I love I can't remember the procedure now.
I know it. Yeah. We could talk about that in the future as well. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. So Bonnie, I want to ask you to talk about the healing herb, or in this case, it's a fruit, right? And also to share your art piece, if you would.
Okay, so today is Soursop, and it's called A. muricata. And excuse me, these are fruits that are grown in the Caribbean and the tropics. And these three fruits are anywhere from $119 to $127 per little box. And the name is called Soursop. So why would I look this up? And let me say to you right now, if you choose to look this up, remember, this is a very dangerous fruit. And I say that to you dramatically because it is. And I don't want anybody to go get it and just do it because you need to know some things about it. Okay, so I have a couple of friends with some serious cancer. And being a nurse, I decided, okay, I'm going to do some research into chemotherapy things. And so I came upon Soursop, Soursop. And I started looking at the information about not rabbits, but rodents, and what it was doing. And in certain cancer cells, certain cancer cells, not all, but certain ones, the Soursop had caused a significant making small. I have a brain disorder, so please forgive me. But when we make things smaller, they retracted. Thank you. Sometimes I do that, so you guys just know it. So as I'm looking this up and I'm looking it for my friends, I sent the information on to them and I said, look, I'm not telling you to do it or not, just look into it, okay? So as I'm looking it up, I'm wondering, why is this so dangerous? I mean, and this was one article that I read that said, don't do this, there's not enough information, blah, 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 blah. I put it on my Facebook page and I will put it on ours. And the page that I looked up is very, very interesting, but they are wrong when they tell you there's not a lot of information. There is. So I'm wondering who is behind this and why is it these 3 fruits cost so much money? And so I looked at what is it about this? And there's a Spanish word for it, and I want to say gababama.
Guanabana. Guanabana.
Say again?
Guanabana.
Okay, and Anna, you probably knew that, but you get these in drinks. The kids drink these pop drinks, right? Okay, and so I'm thinking, what in the world are they drinking these pop drinks for when they can be so dangerous? And here's the reasons what they do. Okay, they increase your carbs. Okay, they have increased carbs, increased sugars, increased potassium. However, they decrease glucose. They increase blood pressure, and this is why they don't want you or I to use it. Okay, I'm sorry, they decrease blood pressure, and that's because, okay, the amount of potassium in this fruit is off the charts. Okay, so potassium is one of the mechanisms in our heart, potassium, that works on the heart muscle to cause the contraction. So if you take, you're only supposed to have one of these drinks a week, honestly, and these drinks they can put you into a cardiac arrest. So
3 minutes, Bonnie. You've got 3 minutes. Okay.
So all I'm doing is telling you, if you know anybody who has cancer, have them milk this up, soursop. If you have high blood pressure or you have glucose issues with diabetes, look into this, okay? It's saying that the higher doses do not affect people, but the medium doses, the 50 to 100 milligrams is where your target should be if you're a diabetic, or even if you have high blood pressure. So, and to lose weight. This is another one of those herbal things that cause us to lose weight if you do it in the moderate milligram value, okay? And that's what I want to tell you about this. And Anna, please feel free to say something about these drinks, what you know about them. I used to live in the Caribbean, and so we had these drinks. So I never drank them because they were too sweet for me. I just don't like that stuff. But I wish now that I had known about it. I wish now that I'd paid attention to this. And I don't know what they cost. I don't know how much actual fruit is in the drinks, but it's something to explore and look into. And that's it.
Could we see your art piece?
Oh yeah, yes. Okay. Okay, here is my art. It's just on Love Factor today. And I've been doing a lot of collage, and I'm not big on it. I'm not good at it, but I'm working at it.
It looks like Moldavite. Those green things remind me of Moldavite.
Well, they are little flowers.
Thank you, Bonnie. Just on the back of what you said about soursop having cancer healing properties this week, a couple of close relatives told me about immunotherapy that they'd been having for rheumatoid arthritis, and I do a lot of research into holistic healing through herbs and all different things. 2 things that I wanted to mention. Frankincense essential oil on your feet every morning and every night helps reduce inflammation. There's lots of anti-cancer elements to frankincense. It smells beautiful. It's very high vibrational. It stops pain and inflammation in your body. The other thing that I wanted to say is spirulina and chlorella
Yes.
Together, taken together, they have synergistic properties that alkalize your body. And of course, disease cannot live in a in an alkaline environment, and it's acid that causes cancer and all kinds of diseases. So you can alkalize by using spirulina and chlorella, and they work very powerfully synergistically together. Okay, I just wanted to mention that. Bonnie, thank you, and thank you, Anna and Grethe and Bo. I want to close this session. We may go a couple of minutes over. I want to ask you, Morag, is there anything that you would like to say? Because you didn't get the chance to do a segment today. You're muted. If you could unmute. Wanted to just check in with you and ask you.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that we've been going through lots of things today, but what I have been getting a lot of is the energy of the rose coming in this evening, which is a beautiful, because the rose is like not only the symbol of creation, but it's a really potent healing energy as well. So just to say, I kind of, at times when people were talking, it was like they were embodied in a rose. So, yeah.
And of course, the rose, as an essential oil, is the highest vibration on the planet, higher than frankincense, and a beautiful, beautiful scent. Very precious. I love the rose, and it's often used to represent, the unfolding of the chakras, and I've had a lot of psychic experiences with roses. Thank you for that, Morag. Okay, so I would like to close this session with gratitude and just go around the group and just ask you all to say something that you're grateful for, and I'll help to create an affirmation with what you say. And hopefully it will be useful to you. So something that you are grateful for, and I will start. I'm just going to take a breath. I've been drinking rose tea, and it's interesting that you mentioned rose. So I'm grateful for my cup of rose and hibiscus tea with Earl Grey. Yeah, it's delicious with almond milk. Bo, something that you're grateful for?
I am grateful for my health and my day-to-day vibration, keeping it high and investing in it. I am thankful and grateful that this is that I'm at this point in my life, feeling good, feeling healthy, and
Beautiful. So I'm going to offer you this affirmation. I radiate love at all times.
I radiate love at all times.
So it is. Thank you, Bo. Anna, something you're grateful for?
I am grateful for the support that I receive from both the unseen realms and the physical realm, from humans and from non-physical beings, and how they support me.
And your affirmation is, and all of our affirmation is, heaven and earth support me always. Thank you. Yannicka, something you're grateful for?
Today, I'm grateful for the people who helped me today with practical stuff.
Awesome. So everyone I encounter is a golden link in the chain of my good.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you. Morag, something you're grateful for.
Grateful for sunlight, and days getting longer, and more light in my life through from the heavens.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, this is your affirmation. I am a light. I am the unfolding rose. I am a light. I am the unfolding rose.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bonnie.
I am thankful for my dogs. I know that sounds crazy, but
No, it doesn't.
I'm thankful for these two elderly dogs.
Dogs are just such beautiful, unconditional love embodied, aren't they?
Thank you, dog.
And that's why I'm going to say this affirmation, which is, I am the embodiment of unconditional love.
Thank you.
I am the embodiment of unconditional love. Thank you. Grethe.
I'm thankful for my cat who's teaching me and showing me how to prioritize play and rest, and who's unapologetically always letting me know what his needs are and bringing me back to the present moment, and just, yeah. So I'm grateful for my cat.
I revel in the present moment and the glorious now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grethe. Carl.
I'm grateful for those friends who accept me just as I am.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, so the affirmation is, I am perfect. It is safe to be me. How often we don't accept ourselves as perfect in our imperfection, right? If we could truly accept ourselves in the now, then we can change into whatever we want to. I'm so grateful to be part of this evening and for you all to be here, you know, and share with you. Thank you so much, everyone. And hopefully we can do this again in a couple of weeks. You're all welcome to come back, and I appreciate all of you, and see you again soon, I hope. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your day wherever you are. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Lots of love. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.